Hi there, I'm Dr. Shauna Dingman from Elevate Women's Health Center. I have a chiropractic clinic for women and children in Port Perry, Ontario, and today I'm going to show you how I increase mobility in my upper back and shoulder areas. So I think I'm a lot like most of my patients. I really struggle with upper back stiffness and neck pain. It's something that I'm always having to work on, especially based on what I do, right? I spend all day bent over a table adjusting people. I spend a lot of time on my laptop creating content. So the stiffness that I get in my upper back and in my neck is something that I always have to pay attention to, and I really find that that's the case with most of my adult patients, and actually I'm finding it a lot now in teenagers too because of this. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I do to help increase the mobility in this whole area, back here, in and around my shoulders. Mobility is key. The more you can keep anything moving, the healthier it's going to be. The human body was designed to be in movement. So first thing I would do is just start off with some arm circles. This is just something I learned from doing P90X years ago. Tony Horton was big on starting out with arm circles. It's great to warm up the muscles of the shoulder. You can go forward, you can go backward, big circles, little circles, but try and do a full minute of arm circles. And I'll tell you, your shoulders are gonna feel like they're burning. So you can take a little break and then come back to it, but see if you can finish out that full minute and make sure that you're going both directions, forward and back. The next thing I would do is actually doing shoulder circles. So the thing that I want you to focus on here, it's not so much the range of motion in the shoulders, it's the range of motion in the shoulder blades. So as I'm moving my shoulders around, I'm focusing on squeezing my shoulder blades together. So that's really where the motion is coming from. And again, you want to go forward and back. Backwards feels a little weird. Actually, I guess this is shoulder forward. This is forward. That feels weird. Okay, so you're going to warm up those muscles and get them moving. Next thing you've probably never seen before, I call these crankshafts. And let me see the best way to show you. So you got your arms out forward, maybe I'll show you from the side. And what you're doing is like a crankshaft of a machine, you're just moving them around. So it's almost like the shoulder circles that I just showed you, but it's a slightly different movement. And I would go forward and backward with those. Backward is easy, forward is much harder. So do, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 of those. Next thing I do, I call it walk like an Egyptian, if you remember that song when we were kids. Well, when I was a kid. So you're going like this and like this. It's a twisting motion of the shoulder. Your shoulder joint has the most range of motion of any joint in your body. And the cost of that is that it also degenerates quicker than almost any joint in your body too. So I don't know if you can hear this on the video, but as I'm doing this, all I can hear is cracking and crunching. People always say, is that normal? Is that healthy? It just is. You'll find that as you get older and as you use your arms and your shoulders more and more over the years, you will hear more of the creaking and cracking. It's probably a sign of degeneration and just aging of the tissues. But the key to that is, like I said, just keeping things moving. Okay, so we've done crankshafts, we've done walk like an Egyptian. Last thing I want to show you, I just use an old broomstick for this. This is a move that we always do when we're warming up in CrossFit, because in CrossFit, you're doing a lot of upper body strengthening work. So making sure that you've got good range of motion in your shoulders is really important when you're doing Olympic lifting. Otherwise, you'll be lifting wrong, and that's how people get torn rotator cuffs and torn labrums and things like that. So one of the ways that we warm up is to just increase the range of motion in the shoulder. So take a broomstick. I obviously took the end of it off, but you don't have to. Hold it as wide as you can to start with. And these are just called passovers. All you're gonna do is bring it up and all the way back, and up and all the way back. If you can't do it right off the bat, you need a longer broomstick. You need to have your hands wider. The wider your hands are, the easier it's going to be. So I would say do 5 or 6 of those. If that's easy, move your hand in just an inch or two, not even a whole hand's breadth, just a little bit makes a big difference with how much more difficult that is and how much more range of motion you'll get out of it. For me, if I go from wide to moving in an entire hand's breadth, that's about the limit of what I can do. After that, I can only go part way. So, and that's fine too. You can move your hands all the way in like that and just see how far can you get. That's about as far as I can go. Let me move back a little bit. But it's still increasing the range. So working with a broomstick and just doing those other simple mobility exercises, if you do them regularly, you will find that you stretch out the front, you stretch out those pec muscles, and you really increase the mobility and the range in your shoulders, which will help to decrease some of the stiffness and the pain. If you have any questions, just ask. I would love to hear from you. You can follow me on Instagram, Dr. Shauna Dingman. You can follow me on Facebook, Elevate Women's Health, or you can follow me at Shauna Dingman. You can email me, drshauna@elevatewomen'shealth.ca, or you can find me through my website, www.elevatewomenshealth.ca. I hope you have an awesome day.